And go Gators. Yesterday was Gator Day on the Hill, so still feeling very orange and blue and very proud of the University of Florida. Very exciting to represent a land-grant university. And as many of you know, and I know you guys have great pride in the institutions that you all represent, but for us, we are very proud of our rich heritage of agricultural research and outreach that spans over a century. Nestled in the heart of one of the most diverse and productive agricultural regions in the United States, the university has embraced its unique position to address the specific challenges and opportunities facing Florida's agricultural industry. Indeed, we're home to over 300 specialty crops, and I am extraordinarily proud that we rank top 5 for cow-calf producers in the country, and it still astounds me where we rank 1, 2, and 3 when it comes to some of these specialty crops. But as such, that requires tremendous research and development to make sure that these commodities stay viable for the future. So as agriculture has really evolved into a high-tech space, I wanted to just kind of dive into this. Dr. Engel, you kind of touched on one of the issues. One of my colleagues was asking about China and Brazil and India, but I wanted to follow up on that line of questioning they were going down. So outside of protecting our competitive edge in regards to ag, the U.S. population is projected to grow from 336 million people in 2023 to 373 million in 2053. The global population is projected to grow from 8 billion people to 9 billion by 2050. With this rapid rate of growth in population, isn't there a need for ag research to address this and the potential for food security issues that will come with needing to feed that many more people? I think we all know the answer to this, but just for the record.
The short answer is yes. And as land-grant institutions, we're working on this problem. We're working to ensure that we accelerate the productivity of plants, that their efficiencies, the same in the animal space as well. So, additional resources to ensure that we're continuing to make that progress at the pace that you point out is going to be needed is absolutely critical.
Thank you. And this could be Dr. Ulrich or Ulrich?
Urich.
Urich. I was way off.
Close enough.
Good enough for government work, I
Good enough
suppose.
for government work.
In your testimony, you write about citrus greening disease and the devastating impact that this disease has on the citrus industry. This isn't just a Florida problem, but we're seeing this across the industry as a whole. As a member of the Sunshine State, I have personally seen the devastating impacts where we have gone from 250 million boxes in the early 2000s to now about 30,000 boxes in production. You mentioned specifically the emergency citrus disease research and the extension program, which has been implemented to combat citrus greening. Now, as we look to draft the Farm Bill this year, can you speak to the importance of maintaining this important program, specifically the need to continue funding? Because as we all know, research is not something you can turn on and off like a light switch. It requires that continual investment. Do you see light at the end of the tunnel, and can you speak to that importance?
Yes, I see light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot we can do. We brought up this before. Having that continued research over long term, particularly for trees, which take decades to mature, is extremely important for this process. So as you know, citrus greening disease is devastating, not just in Florida. We're very concerned about this in California. And we use all the tools in the toolbox that we can have, from high-end genomic sequencing to splicing, and plant breeding, everything that we can have that we can possibly do to make sure that the disease does not affect California and the rest of the country we're working on. And it is a long-term plan. And if it's not citrus, it could be citrus greening disease this day, but it might be something else for peaches and almonds and pistachios in the future.
So I know I'm coming short on time, but one word answers down the panel, and my team is going to be terrified that I go off script, talking about GMOs, right? And the need for us to continually develop research and solve some of these pressing issues with things like CRISPR technology. Do you support the use and further development of GMOs, and do you believe that there is a problem with people understanding what they are and they aren't? Going down the line, I'll start with you.
Do people understand what they are? I don't know if everybody understands what they are and they aren't. I'll get back to, I think we need to use every tool in the toolbox that we have.
Perfect.
Because again, we need to make sure our food is safe, secure, and abundant.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the recent national championship.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. GMOs are an important tool in the toolbox for all things food security and safety, and would definitely support their use and believe that we could do a better job of communicating what they are and what they aren't with the general public.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just say ditto.
Perfect.
People don't know.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm running really, really short on time.
I totally agree with my colleagues.
Perfect. Thank you.
I agree, too. They're an important tool that we need to use to address these major challenges.
Perfect. Thank you. Last one.
Incredibly important tool. In my written testimony, I talk about a 40% increase in pods on soybeans as a result of the technology. We need that help.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, let the record reflect the entire panel agreed with the Gator Nation. With that, I yield back.